the final years and tragic death of Layne Staley. From 1999 to 2002, Staley became more reclusive and depressed, rarely leaving his Seattle condo. Little is known about the details of his life during this period. Staley was rumored to spend most of his days creating art, playing video games, or nodding off on drugs. Staley's one-time roommate and friend Morgan Gallagher later said that around 2001, Staley was going to audition for Audioslave. This claim was later debunked by Audioslave guitarist Tom Morello. Staley's mother, Nancy McCallum, told the Seattle Times in 2007 that despite his isolation, he was never far from the love of his family and friends, who filled his answering machine and mailbox with messages and letters. Just because he was isolated doesn't mean we didn't have sweet moments with him. McCallum has also claimed that she saw Staley on Thanksgiving and again just around Valentine's Day of 2002 when he visited his sister's baby. This was the last time that McCallum saw her son. Sean Kinney has commented on Staley's final years in isolation period. It got to a point where he'd kept himself so locked up, both physically and emotionally. I kept trying to make contact 3 times a week, like clockwork. I'd call him, but he'd never answer. Every time I was in the area, I was up in front of his place yelling for him. Even if you could get in his building, he wasn't going to open the door. You'd phone, and he wouldn't answer. You couldn't just kick the door in and grab him. Though there were so many times I thought about doing that. But if someone won't help themselves, what really can anyone else do? Staley's physical appearance had become even worse than before. He had lost several teeth, his skin was sickly pale, and he was severely emaciated. Close friends such as Matt Fox said if no one heard from him for weeks, it wasn't unusual. Staley grew increasingly disconnected from his friends and bandmates who repeatedly tried to get him into rehab, but Staley refused. Staley's close friend, Mark Lanigan, said, "He didn't speak to anybody as of late. It's been a few months since I talked to him. But for us to not talk for a few months is par for the course." On April 19, 2002, Staley's accountants contacted his former manager, Susan Silver, and informed her that no money had been withdrawn from the singer's bank account in 2 weeks. Silver then contacted Staley's mother, Nancy McCallum, who placed a call with 911 to say she had not heard from him in about 2 weeks. The police went with McCallum and her ex-husband, Jim Elmer, to Staley's home. It was reported that the 6-foot Staley weighed only 86 pounds, 39 kilograms, when his body was discovered. Staley's body was partially decomposed when he was found. Medical examiners had to identify the body by comparing dental records. Years later, McCallum revealed that 2 days before Staley's body was found, she went to his apartment to let him know about the death of Demry Parrott's brother, but there was no answer. When she got the phone call to check on her son 2 days later, she was not surprised that Staley had not responded. There was some mail by his door. Staley owned a cat named Sadie. At the time, he was usually quiet. Upon hearing Sadie meow, McCallum became worried. It was a call of distress. Still not receiving an answer from Staley, McCallum called 911. The autopsy and toxicology report on Staley's body revealed that he died from a mixture of heroin and cocaine, known as a speedball. The autopsy concluded that Staley died 2 weeks before his body was found on April 5. The same day fellow grunge musician Kurt Cobain died 8 years prior. Staley's death was classified as accidental. Staley's Aliceinchains bandmates issued the following statement: "It's good to be with friends and family as we struggle to deal with this immense loss and try to celebrate this immense life. We are looking for all the usual things: comfort, purpose, answers, something to hold on to, a way to let him go in peace. Mostly, we are feeling heartbroken over the death of our beautiful friend. He was a sweet man with a keen sense of humor and a deep sense of humanity. He was an amazing musician, an inspiration, and a comfort to so many. He made great music and gifted it to the world. We are proud to have known him, to be his friend, and to create music with him. For the past decade, Layne struggled greatly. We can only hope that he has at last found some peace. We love you, Layne, dearly, and we will miss you endlessly. In 2010, in an interview on VH1 Celebrity Rehab with Staley's mother, Nancy McCallum, former Aliceinchains bass player Mike Starr, said that he was the last person to see Staley alive and had spent time with him the day before his death. On Starr's birthday, April 4, Starr claimed that Staley was very sick but would not call 911. They briefly argued, which ended with Starr storming out. Starr stated that Staley called after him as he left and said, "Not like this. Don't leave like this." Staley died the following day, April 5. Starr expressed regret for not calling 911 to save his life and said that Staley had threatened to sever their friendship if he did. Starr regretted being high on benzodiazepines that night and having walked out of the door. The interview ended with Starr apologizing to McCallum for not calling 911, but she was insistent that neither she nor anyone in her family blamed Starr for Staley's death. She also told Starr Layne would forgive you. He'd say, "Hey, I did this, not you." Starr still blamed himself for the death of Staley. Starr kept the story a secret until his appearance on Celebrity Rehab in February 2010. During this same interview, McCallum also said that Staley had attempted rehab 13 times, although it is not clear whether any of these attempts were during his reclusive years. Starr was found dead on March 8, 2011 as a result of prescription drug overdose. Like and follow for more wild stories in rock music.